Uh,
Hello everyone, I am your host Shashi with you all on Women Dialogues to create more voice for women and by women. And today's our guest is having a lot of diversity, a lot of experience, and a lot of things to share with us. Rasha, Jahida. She is from Morocco, but currently she is living in Canada. She is expert in gender equality and development expert. She is currently finalizing and in the last stage as a senior researcher for her PhD in political science and public administration at the University of Madrid as well as University of Ottawa, and she is working women involvement in climate change resilience. And at the same time we would like to share she is UN youth uh, ambassador where she worked and she is selected for that for Arab region, and we will hear from more from her what she is doing, how she is doing, how she came up on this platform, how she came up on this work, what made her to follow this path, how she reached on this path. And let's welcome our today's speaker, Rasha Amati from Canada.
Hi, Shashi. Thank you very much, everyone, and thank you very much for having me today and giving me this opportunity to be here with you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Rasha. And I was going through by your, biodata. It was really impressive. As a young youth, you got selected for UN Youth Advisor and or Youth Forum. If I don't know if am I wrong, make me correct, please. So, but same time, you are following your passion for gender equality, climate change, and these all are very significant, very important in current scenario. So please share with us how it is all started, how we can see as a Russia, as a child, who what kind of it entails that she decided to work or go in this field.
Mhm. Well, so my career path, it's all started because, as you know, I was born in Morocco. I'm an Arab woman, and then since my childhood, I've had the opportunity to live in different countries. And while I was living in different countries and raised with a different cultural background, I started to notice that in all these countries, women are more liberated, more conscious of themselves, have more opportunities, and in other countries, they were facing many barriers. And that's what made me also how I was socialized and in my cultural sphere where I was raised, I started to feel like many women, they face different injustices depending in the place where they live, and I felt it was not fair. Why these women, they are living like this and struggling, and they just know this reality, and I felt bad. I'm someone who always likes to be fair to people, so this was one of the main reasons. When I was a teenager, I started to notice that, and I thought I would like to start working on women's rights and human rights was also, I was always interested in that. And I've studied international relations. At the beginning, I wanted to be an ambassador. I always liked this area. And then I felt like I was not creating an impact if I was working, following that route. And then I had the opportunity to work in Latin America at the Gender Affairs Division. And I was 21, I remember. And I think I would have to mention my supervisors and the people that were guiding me in this path. They were always they were very good mentors and supportive. And Pamela, she was my supervisor. She guided me. She was very supportive, and she made me see how women's rights are important. And we were working on many different topics in big UN conferences. And I was so interested that it made me want to always continue this path. And that was one of the reasons that made me be to where I am today. And then after doing my master's in gender studies, I decided to become to have more specified expertise in this field. That's why I decided to continue my PhD. And I also chose climate change because it's a very new topic where there's no data. It's all very recent, and usually women's voices, they're not included. So this is why I'm here today and working on this topic.
Wonderful, wonderful. Rasha, you mentioned that born and raised in different climate, or not different climate, different cultures and different societies, and that way you develop your very early understanding about women and it made you feel like, okay, I want to work in this field. Would you like to share some of your experiences when we are talking about different cultures and society where you raised, what kind of experiences, how you felt, what kind of changes we can bring or we need to be required to work on?
Well, so I was, my family, how they raised me, they always tried their best to support me. We're a family of just 5 women and then just my dad. So he always said that whatever I choose to study and do, he supports it. And I felt that it's not everyone that has this opportunity. Usually girls, they tend to have more obstacles and barriers. And also, well, how I was raised, I did have some obstacles. A woman cannot do certain things and a man can do certain things. It was always like that in my family too. So I felt that it's not fair. These gender social norms, we have to work on them and try to change this. We cannot keep living like this. And we also, well, our generation is more aware now of this. Women speak more, they voice more their concerns. But our grandparents' generation and parents, no one used to say anything, and women did not have opportunities. We have this idea of women just being at home, cooking and taking care of children. And I felt that it's not fair. What if a woman wants to continue her career and be what she wants to do? And in these different societies, I used to see women continue to do what they want. And for example, in other Arab cultures, it wasn't like that. That's what made me want to work on this.
Yeah, yeah. I think those are very empowering and staggering points when the person feels like, yes, we need to work, and you decided to even to give your career line or profession in this field to help others. And even though you are helping by becoming a UN youth, member and ambassador. So when we are talking about those all experiences, along with that, you are working for climate change, and we are experiencing and recent time as a lot of climate issues, a lot of new kind of climate related experiences which are not expected and not supposed to be, but we are experiencing. What is your as you are studying in this field, what is your observation, what do you say about it?
Well, there's very much a lot of information that is unknown. We still don't know. Now there's more studies, and also the United Nations Convention on Climate Change, they did the Gender Action Plan of now 5 years. Their countries are working more on that, the gender perspective in different projects and on climate change is being more included, but there's still not enough data. Some countries need also more budget to work on this. There's a lot of unknown, and some women need training to be more present in negotiations. And I think that the most important thing is especially having gender disaggregated data to know specifically how women they are being affected by this climate change experiences, because they're also more vulnerable in these situations in some countries. But we also don't, I think we shouldn't portray them always just as a vulnerable group, because they can also, with their experiences, bring a change. They also have a lot of knowledge in this area. And that's why I was interested in working on this, because it's, I would like to have an impact through my research to also help to make a change and bring awareness. That's why I also chose this topic.
All right. So, Rasha, when we are talking about women empowerment, climate change, gender equality, we are moreover we are seeing this like as a it is always there, and but now it's becoming more and more, as you said now, since because of the awareness, a lot of media presence and all, we started getting more aware and women started getting voice. How do you find, is this in the right direction we are going, or we need to add some more tools to achieve these goals?
I think, well, I mean, considering the Sustainable Development Goals for 2030,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we will be in that time, but there's still so much work to be done. There's gender inequality in every country. It's all in the mindsets of people and how we are raised, in the traditions and norms. Some countries they have many things that they still need to work on. I would say that the most important thing is to start being more aware of it, and how we raise our children is really, really important. And also,
Mm-hmm.
well, it's also everything starts with how you're socialized. So your school, how you are, your people also affects how you're going to have your views in the future. I would say there's a lot of work to still be done in this area, and especially there's the need of many countries to have the will to work on gender. Usually it's always seen as a separate issue, not as something that it's included in everything. It's always
Mm-hmm.
like something on the side.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be something that we still have to work on.
Right. And when we are talking about, you mentioned that we usually in work culture or in the workplaces, they have taken as a separate issue rather than being inclusive or as a part of their system. So it's bringing me about talking about diversity and inclusiveness. How you find whether we are, when we are talking about gender issue, is also like in workplaces and all, should be part of diversity and inclusiveness.
In the workplace,
Yeah.
well, I think some workplaces they're aware of it, but others it's still there's a lot of sexism at the workplace, and women they still face barriers. I have experienced myself once in an interview. The interviewer was asking me about my age and also my nationality, and I felt like based on my answers, he would make a different process based on that, because usually at my age some women they are about to start thinking about having children, so
Mm-hmm.
it's not I mean it's not fair to ask those questions, and women they're also always discriminated based on if they want to have children or not, and some people
Right.
will have them based on that. It's
Mm.
not fair, and men they don't have to go through that. So
Right.
I think companies they still have to work on that and be more aware of it, and not just write it on paper. They need to give the training to people who do the interviews and
Mm-hmm.
the staff and HR to do that actually, and not just on leave it on paper and that's all.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's easy to just write it, but then the fact of doing it, it's that's
Mm-hmm.
where the everything starts.
Yeah. Yeah. And when we are talking all about your experiences, your engagement with you and your work with on gender equality, and you're working on your PhD and all, it shows some sort of your leadership qualities. It shows how you always try to bring something impactful for society. So how you decide and how you define when we talk about leadership qualities, or how you define your own leadership.
I would say I've come a long way to become to be where I am in my own leadership. I have to always be grateful to my mentors who made me keep working on what I do and follow it. I would say my leadership. I try to through my voice to bring awareness of this, even with my in my daily life, personal life, with my friends, and through my work to create an impact. And what motivates me daily is the fact that I'm working on things that will make impacts on girls' lives and on bringing more awareness to stop gender violence. And my leadership also brought me to last year create my own nonprofit organization in Ottawa. And it's called, I named it after my last name because I wanted to keep a legacy of my last name. Usually girls in my countries, their last name, they take the last name of the dad. So I thought about keeping something that is mine. And I named it Amati Swiji to name it after 3 generations of empowered women. And through this organization, it's based in Ottawa, I want to help to bring awareness on these topics and do also events, funding events to help women, for example, who are in shelters. And that's what I'm doing for now through this leadership. I hope really to create an impact through this. And also I do consultancies internationally.
That's wonderful, and that's great to hear how you are creating your leadership and creating impact on others' life. So, Rasha, when we are talking about helping others through your organization or your consultancy, what kind of services, our viewers and audience can be aware and can get from you?
So I've done the areas that of focus are the 12 areas of the Beijing platform, and I am working on doing. I try to do connections with different countries. I've connected with one in Lebanon and also another one in Indonesia, where we are working on connecting it, and also another one in Korea. So we try to bring our voices together and work on common interests together. For example, the last one I spoke with was on gender and peace in Korea. So we work on projects like that, and my main areas are the 12 areas of, I'm sure you're familiar with it, the Beijing platform. So there are different areas, gender and violence, women and peace and security, and also women in institutions, all those areas, I try to tackle them through my work.
All right. So as you are sharing about those, Beijing platform is 12 areas, and those are your part of specialization, and you provide consultancy in those areas. And I hope if our audience and our listeners, if they are looking some support, they can get connect with you. So Rasha, when we are talking about all these works and all, I believe many times we have to go through by some challenges and sometimes some joyful moment as well. Would you like to share maybe some challenges as well as some joyful moment?
I would say my challenges that I faced until now, it's based on my nationality. I faced a lot of racism growing up and discrimination in these different countries that I've mentioned. So it's always a challenge. I feel it's not just that I feel it, I'm treated differently based on where I'm from, either with my friends or also at the workplace. I've suffered racism before. And it was a very sad experience. Many people, they think they're not racist, but this is still ongoing issue, and we still have to work on that. So that was the sad part. I've always struggled alone. I didn't have help from anyone to be where I am. So I'm still trying to do everything alone and to achieve my goals by myself. And there's always challenges. We just have to deal with them and overcome them. And I hope that we overcome this racism and discrimination issues. People need to work on them more. Companies and also countries need to be more aware of it to take the necessary steps.
Yeah, it is really sad to hear all about that you have facing and you have gone through by those. And if we are talking about some maybe trying to make you feel better in our audience, maybe would you like to share some joyful moment?
And joyful moments in my career?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I would mention the best part of all this was my supervisors, the one that I have in Canada, in Spain, in all my career path. I've had really, really grateful supervisors. They see me almost as their child. They take care of me. They support me. And what I love about them is they always support my vision. I think it's really important when you're doing a career like this where you have to voice yourself and create a change. you need to be strong, because there's always going to be people who don't agree with you and try to bring you down. So having a strong support was the best part. They still support me, and I will always be grateful for them. That was
That's
the best
wonderful.
part.
Wonderful. And when we are talking all about challenges, joyful movement, being remain resilient and keep focusing on your, purpose. What advice or what message would you like to give to our audience or our listeners who are listening and watching us?
Well, I would like to help and inspire, especially young girls who are still trying to think about what I want to do in the future, my career, or if someone in their family, because I've been through that, tries to not support them in their path, which happens a lot, to never give up on their passions and dreams, because it's their own life, and you're the dictator of your own life and choices. And I think you always have to make it happen and try your best to follow your dreams. Don't listen to what society will dictate you as a woman, because we women go through so much. We always have to listen to so many rules on our bodies, on what you have to do and not do, and it's mentally really draining. So that would be the advice that I would give to the younger people: to don't listen to that and follow your dreams.
Wonderful, wonderful. And what way you feel or you find the platform like this, Women Dialogue, is important or is needed?
I think your platform is really, really helpful and needed, because you give people a voice. And if we don't have a voice, we're invisible. It is exactly the issue of all women, our struggles. We still don't have enough voice. So you are giving us an opportunity to speak, to show what we do, so people know what's happening. I think it's really needed, and I'm very grateful for that. We have to follow your example and have more platforms like this, so women are more heard in conversations like this.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for having such faith and such strong belief for this women voice and women dialogue. And wish you all the very best for your work and PhD, or in future, whatever you are seeing for yourself. Last just but not least, how our audience or our listeners, if they would like to get connect with you, how they can find you?
Yes, so they can find me through my LinkedIn. It's Rasha Zahira Amati. And also my email is amati52@gmail.com. And my last name, Amati, is with 2 M's, just in case people are a little bit lost.
Yeah, we will put in the description as well. So that's it for today's episode, and I hope our audience have enjoyed. I have, and you have learned something. And if you have more query related to this question or this topic about gender equality, empowerment, climate change, as these are very important topic as you hear us, and I hope you found some inspiration and motivation as well. If you would like to get connected with Drshashigoel, I'm going to put her details in the description as well. So get connected with her, and with this same motivation and hoping to grow together and develop together with the same note. I will see you in the same time, same next episode. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.